Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's 100% Metroid Fusion. In the last part, we finished our business up in Sector 2 before heading over here to Sector 4 where we have honestly already finished our business in as well. If you can tell, at least in the first visit, a lot of the sectors in this game are not that long. However, we also got ourselves the speed booster back, so now we're actually going to use that to escape because, well, unless we use this, there's no other way back to the navigation room. Also, another missile tank right over here. This one's completely in your way, so you might as well grab it anyway. I don't think I've ever skipped this one, actually. However, in doing that, we actually do need to come back here and then run to the right, because we don't have enough space to get the speed booster up otherwise. Really, I mentioned it last part, though, but it is kind of surprising. For being the water area, there's not much you really have to do with the water here in Sector 4. Oh yeah, this is annoying. For some reason we have to destroy these, you alright there? X-Parasite? Okay, that was weird. For some reason you have to destroy the gold crab before you can actually leave, and I don't understand why that is. It's an odd gameplay choice there. Either way, I recommend using the recharge station just so you can make sure your totals are good. And then let's go talk to Adam. Hello, Mr. Computer.
So Sarah's been infected by the X2. Well, as a result, recovered another ability. At this rate, you may be able to face the SAX yet. But that's still a ways off. HQ has more support data. This time it's missile upgrade data. You desperately need this, but the data room here is sealed with a level 4 lock, the highest security level. Let's avoid opening sensitive areas unless it's necessary. Also, the route to the data room in Sector 2 is blocked by still more SAX activity. I note a deliberate activity pattern, as if it is blocking your recovery intentionally. Samus, it looks like your best option for this download is in Sector 3. You'll find the Sector 3 data room on your map after using a navigation room there. Is your objective clear?
Yep.
Now head for Sector 3.
I really should mention this, but I find the whole sector setup of this game interesting, because first off, it's a good way to handle the map system of Metroid. But secondly, it really makes me think about the length of this game, because when I was a kid, I thought at least initially visiting all 6 sectors took over half the game, probably somewhere around 60 to 70%. Whereas looking back now that I'm an adult, I'm realizing that it's actually it's completely under half. Mind you, that has to do with the fact that I'm not exploring as much as I used to have to because I know where to go in the game at this point, but I always find the ways that you learn games like that very interesting. Because every playthrough is completely different after your first one, basically. Yeah, it's a sizable area.
Thankfully, the X has not invaded this area yet. The data room here is sealed by another security hatch. In order to download, you must find the security room here and activate level 2 hashes. This may allow the SAX and X-Parasite into the area, but we're left with no choice. Your recovery is our main goal. The data room is here. As I explained, security rooms can't be shown on the map. Be careful, Samus. You'll see some very violent organisms here. And avoid the ultra-heated areas. Your suit can't take such high temperatures yet, but we're working on it. Level 2 hatches are green. Release the lock and proceed to the data room for download. Super missile data is ready. Your firepower will triple. Is your objective clear?
Yep.
First, activate green hatches, then go to the data room. There are no ultra-heated areas on this route, so turn back if you enter one.
Actually, he's technically kind of wrong about that because most of the superheated areas here in Sector 3 are actually at the very bottom of it. But there is one you can actually access right now, and it's the first door you see after entering this first main room, if I recall. So, don't do that. Sector 3, though, I actually used to have a lot of issues with when I was a kid, but nowadays it's honestly one of the easiest. Let's see what's over here on the right. Well, I can't go through there, so let's go this way. Speed boost, jump! Oh, that was convenient. Hidden down on this floor is another missile tank. And now I get to embarrass myself for like a minute and a half because the security room is just to our left. It's that one block in the bottom left there. However, I try to be fancy and shine spark into the speed booster blocks there on the top left of the room, and I failed that completely. The shine spark is something you can do in Super Metroid. I showed it off there. And in terms of how you do it in this game, you basically, when you're standing still with the speed booster charged up after crouching, you just press the jump button and hold a direction. But I'm trying to do the fancy way where you jump and do a shine spark, which is sufficiently harder for me because you don't have to do it nearly as often. The way I recommend going about this otherwise is just doing a speed booster jump or a diagonal shine spark, which you do in Zero Mission Infusion by holding diagonally with your cannon by pressing the L button and then just jumping, really. I believe this game also introduced Morph Ball Shine Sparks, but I think that could have also been Zero Mission. Either way, now Security Level 2 is unlocked, green hatches are active. However, this is immediately going to have some repercussions, because now the X are in here. Though honestly, coming back, the X in Sector 3 aren't that dangerous. Though it starts off a song, the X being introduced, rather, causes the main theme of Sector 3 to start playing, and I actually really like this track. Either way, you could go right, but I'm just going to tell you right now, just head next to the door and then head right, because you need Shine Spark, or Speed Booster. And now for one of the few items I'm going out of my way for that I really could have just really waited for. Because this shaft goes all the way to the top and the bottom of the area. And at the bottom, there's a room to the right that has a missile tank in it. I very well could have waited to get this later on because I come back to this room 2 or 3 times during the late game cleanup. So I could recommend actually waiting on that one. Either way, our main goal here in this shaft is to get to the very top, so I recommend doing that. These things take 3 missiles, by the way. That won't be that way for much longer, but just keep in mind. Oh, and hey, look, it's one of those, I think, Novas they're called from Norfair. That's actually one thing that I find very odd about this game, is that outside of 2 instances, Sector 1 and something else later on, we don't see many enemies from prior Metroid games. And mind you, every planet that Samus goes to has obviously always had their own ecosystem and enemy layout. But there's always been some common ones, you know? Like, I'm surprised we don't see any of the, like, Shriek, Bat, Scree type enemies, missile tank that's completely in your way. You cannot miss that one at all, unless you do, like, a frame-perfect trick in TAS's. But I've always found it odd like that. Actually, no, I think there's one enemy that you see in Sector 2 that's from a prior game, but that's about it. Oh, well, I can't destroy that. Well, that sucks. Kind of stuck over here, then. Ow. Well, if you're paying attention to the map, we are actually right next to where the data room is. Also, even though the background is wavering, it's not a superheated area. You know if you're in a superheated area because you'd be taking damage. And in here is the data room where we are going to get, as Adam told us, super missile data. Super missiles are not like they are in Super Metroid or Zero Mission, where they're a separate item. They're a pure upgrade to your regular missiles. It triples their firepower. So now, instead of technically having 85 missiles, I have somewhere more along the lines of the power of 204. That was an explosion. I'm just going to hopefully think that was nowhere near me and run away from here, because that scares me. But yeah, now we basically have around 250 missiles in terms of power, but that wasn't there before. We're pretty good. Oh, and another destroyed door. I guess the SAX is near. I recommend using this save point if you're new to the game, because we're coming up on a pretty annoying boss fight, if it's not entirely obvious at this point. And use the recharge room, because you're probably going to want it. Super missiles, though, you can now destroy enemies sooner just due to the higher power. We can also now destroy the purple boundary enemies. They also have a really good sound design to them, because I'll always give Metroid Fusion this. Its sound design is really good with sound effects. Not so much soundtrack, because this game's soundtrack isn't as memorable to me as like Super or Zero Missions. But the crunch that you get when you use a super missile is oh so satisfying. Well, we can't go back that way, so let's head over here to where we... That wasn't that way before. What the... Something is above us, which means there's also a room above us. Uh-oh. I don't like where it's going, so I'm gonna go where it's going. Let's see what we got in here. Prepare your missiles, by the way, because it's time for our next boss fight against the B.O.X security robot. This thing is actually really annoying. You can only hit it on that little yellowish tan part in the middle when it's not attacking. Its only attack is to jump and summon those little bombs. Those bombs cause these pillars of fire to exist. The only way you can avoid the pillars of fire is when they're either going low like that, or if you're right above them when they start exploding. And this fight's annoying because the B.O.X robot moves around a lot. And because of that, you might miss a lot of missiles, and you might get hit a lot. I've learned to adapt to this fight. I can actually fight this one fairly competently now. But it's still kind of annoying. Though I like how this one actually shows some procedural damage. In this game and Super Metroid, a lot of the bosses just show their damage by the color that they are flashing. Like they'll slowly glow more and more red as you get closer to killing them. But the B.O.X security robot actually shows some amount of damage by unveiling what looks to be some sort of brain in there. But thankfully, I can take down this fight pretty easily. And where are you going? Hey, come back! Oh, I'm surprised that didn't kill me. Although if it did, that would be really dickish. Well, we have a runner, but at least it opened up a pathway for us. And it's in here as well that there are more items I could very easily wait to get. Because I'm going to be getting, I think it's a missile tank and an energy tank. Well, no, a missile tank in this room and an energy tank in the next one. Possibly another missile tank. I forget entirely, honestly, what the other item that's in there is. And it is very, very easy for you to wait till later on to get these, because you'll be coming back in this general direction anyway. I'm just going for them because, as I said before, my general mentality for this is if I can get an item, I'm going to get it as early as I can, with exception to that one I was talking about earlier that I just completely forgot to get. Also, this energy tank you can actually get two ways, either from going above or below. Below it, there's actually another one of those little bomb platforms, but I prefer to go in from above because it's a bit faster in the long run. Either way, since we took care of the B.O.X security robot and we got our super missiles, we are done here. So let's go talk with Adam and see what our next destination is. Though actually, the way that this game allows you to access the sectors, I've always found pretty cool too. That you don't go on like complete numerical order. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 1, 2, 4, 3, and let's see where we're heading next.
I see that you encountered a rogue security robot. You may destroy it if you meet it again. Your safety is vital. But as to your brief, level 2 security locks are released, so sectors 5 and 6 are open. That means those sectors have likely been infiltrated by X. They're much harder to stop than we initially suspected. Sector 5 is Sub-Zero. You're still susceptible to cold from the vaccine side effects, so you'll take damage if you even set foot inside there. Avoid Sector 5 for now, but in the meantime, HQ is working on data to adjust your suit for extreme temperatures. Once you have the transmission, you can download it, but the X have destroyed all the data rooms you've used so far. I no longer doubt their capacity for critical thought. You'll have to use the data room in the night habitat, Sector 6. Go to Sector 6 and access the navigation room there. Is your objective clear?
Yep.
Tread lightly, Samus. You're the only one who can do this. And the X may be much more dangerous than we know.
Alright, so we got our next goal. And also, I completely forgot they played this song here. This song, I generally actually relate this song with the endgame because it plays decent. What's going on? Does Samus suspect anything?
No, I do not think so.
Good. Monitor her closely.
Affirmative. Out.
Adam? Are you keeping secrets from us, sir? He is a commanding officer. I guess they do technically do that a decent chunk, don't they? Especially in fiction. Well, let's head on down to Sector 6. And Sector 6 was actually where I got stuck in the game as a kid. For a reason we'll be seeing next part. Hoo, boy. Though I actually really like this area. It's actually one of my favorite areas in the game in terms of, gimmick. Not too big, not too small. I like it.
The various suit data is here from HQ, ready to download. Get moving to a data room. But there's a problem. X from the Sub-Zero sector, Arc are in Sector 6. And they've been changed by the cult. If you absorb one, you'll be frozen from within. This seems like a deliberate tactic. Once you download the various suit modification, you'll be out of danger. Just be extremely careful until then. The knock data room is here. Remember, avoid the blue X. Use your beam to stun them in order to get by. Is your objective clear?
Yep.
Be careful. They're hunting you actively now, Samus. And this area is very dark. Proceed with extreme caution.
Well, at least you seem to be worried about us, Adam. But yeah, those Blue X. We'll be seeing them next part. But if you touch one of them, I believe that's about 60 damage, which is ridiculous. We'll be seeing more of that next part, but good lord. This area is not very easy. But there's at least a couple missile tanks right off the bat. And yeah, as I said, look, we're already at 135. We're already over half of the missile tanks. And we're not even halfway through the game yet. We're roughly a third of the way through. Oh, hey, look, an energy tank. This one's actually kind of tricky, because there are 3 passageways to get to it, but you can only get to it through the top. There's actually another energy tank that has a very similar way to get to this, maybe towards part 8 or 9. So I find it interesting that they kind of reused an idea there. But with that, I'm going to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 5, that's a robot arm for some reason, we'll be investigating the rest of Sector 6 and hopefully avoiding as many Blue X as possible in the process. See you guys then.